Hey folks, it's Trina here, executive and leadership coach for women in leadership who work for mission-driven organizations and companies. And I specifically work with women who are on the brink of burnout or who are feeling depleted and exhausted and are looking for ways to lead and have impact in a way that's sustainable long-term. So if that sounds like you, you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you're here. So let me ask you a question. When was the last time that you sat in a dark room or you didn't have anything that was stimulating you? No phone, no music, no conversation, no sounds, no light other than natural light. When was the last time you experienced that? And for many of us, this is probably a rare event. And this is what sensory rest is all about. So sensory rest, we've been talking about the different kinds of rest so that when you're feeling that depletion and exhaustion, you can really feel rested and ready to get back into your life, into your work or whatever it is, and to approach it from a much better, healthier way for you. And so one of the things that you want to focus on is sensory rest. So sensory rest is really about how do you reduce the inputs that you have that cause overload. And so that can be anything from social media to Netflix or whatever streaming service you watch, or just lots of conversation, taking in other people's opinions and ideas all the time, which can happen a lot on social media. Always listening to music, always reading, always have something going in your mind where you don't have time just for yourself to think, to interact and engage with the world without anything going on, that's sort of acting as that buffer. Because one of the things that happens is when you're on all the time, when your brain is constantly being stimulated, or something's always triggering you, or you don't have that space for calm, or white space as I like to call it, it doesn't allow your mind to rest. It doesn't allow your body to rest. You're always feeling engaged and sort of charged, for lack of a better phrase. And when you're looking for true rest, when you're looking for rest, when you're feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, this is something that's really important. So in the days when I still had a job, I would often leave my phone in the office, or if I took it with me, I would turn it off, or I wouldn't answer, just so that I could have time to myself. And even though I live in New York City and people are bustling and buzzing about, I was still wanting to disconnect and just to sit down and have my lunch without being disturbed or thinking about other things, or just allowing my body to process what had been going on. And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to be able to do this. And nowadays, what that looks like for me is, if I'm running errands, if I'm going out and about, I often will turn my phone off. So I love listening to music and podcasts, as I'm traveling or I'm on the train or whatever it is that I'm doing. And it's a really interesting and nice experience to be able to disconnect from all those things and just be with the sounds, to be with what is, and to not have it constantly pounding in my ears. And so I want to encourage you, if you're looking for rest, that to think about all the sensory inputs that you have in your life, from the lights that are around you to, like I said, social media is a big one for people, even music, or constantly listening to podcasts, or always talking on the phone or talking to people, that constant stimulation. What happens if you strip that down and strip that away without all of that and allow your mind to rest? And this can be scary for some people, because if you're the kind of person where you don't like that, or you don't like being alone, it's probably good for you to take that time for yourself and to discover, okay, what's in this for me? Why do I need this time? Why do I feel so antsy and anxious when I'm not tethered to anything that's clamoring for my attention? So I would encourage you, if sensory rest is something that you need to experience, just give it a try. And, I have taken various social media hiatuses and breaks over the years. And one of the things that I've learned from that experience is the more that I do it, the less I need to engage, or the easier it is for me to disconnect when I need and want to. So something I would encourage you to try is to just take an hour just to see what it would be like for you to disconnect, to sit at home, at your desk, wherever it is, with no noise, no sound, no interruptions, just you sitting. You don't need to be meditating, you don't need to be doing anything specific, but to just get rid of all the inputs and see what happens and see how you feel. And practice it and keep trying it and keep trying it and keep trying it. And so when it comes time for you to rest, maybe there's something different. You might notice you might have a deeper sleep, or maybe you feel more energized the next day. So I encourage you to give that a try. So if this was helpful for you, I encourage you to maybe watch it again, share it with a friend, and try the suggestion that I made. Or if you feel like you need to take this a step further, click on the link below this video. It will link you to my free guide, my free resource for mission-driven leaders and the mistakes they often make that lead to burnout and how to avoid them. So if you want to check that out, like I said, link below this video. That's all for today. Take good care, and I'll talk to you soon.